Hello, this is Grandmaster Jerry Fast sponsoring us with part 2 of the famous, lovely, incredible, full of energy and vigor in life, Grandmaster Malia herself. Are you there, miss?
Jerry, are you there?
I am here. So we're going to continue with part 2 of this incredible interview because obviously we had technical difficulties, but I'm here standing by. And what we did was we created and made number one. So this is part 2. If you don't mind.
Okay. Jerry went out for a coffee break.
No, and you know what? You know what was funny is that when I managed it on the front over here, I was actually still on, and you was cut off at 2:30. Well, I don't know what happened, but regardless,
okay.
The point still is that we were talking about how to have a timeless mind, ageless body. That's all I really hear. You know, Deepak Chopra did that very famous book, and you're the epitome of that, young lady, and that full energy and vigor that you have. And I'm so excited because I know at age soon to be 50, I'm extremely young, and you're proving that and leading by example. What you do speaks so loud, I can't hear what you're saying. So leading by example is what you're doing, and we appreciate that. Can we talk a little bit about what would be you talked about the present and the future, but my question that I was asking you before technical difficulties started, there was a photo of you and a gentleman who taught me how to do some incredible fighting. And his name was, and there's rest in peace, Mr. Joe Louis.
Yes.
So what can you say about him?
Well, Joe Louis and I were friends, tournament friends. We traveled the same circuit, fought the same tournaments. We always seemed to be at the internationals, and he used to always come up and tease me and say, he would actually watch my fights, and he would say, oh, if you had done this, if you done that, or if he didn't watch, he'd come over and say, did you win, did you lose? And I got so tired of him always teasing me, I started calling him Josephine. I'd say, Josephine, will you go away and leave me alone? I said, just go away and leave me alone. And he would laugh, but we became friends along the way because when you go to so many tournaments and you see all these same guys, you know, they chit-chat to you, you chit-chat to them. Joe Louis was just a really good friend. He was really a friend to Al, a good friend to me. I have nothing bad to say about Joe Louis. He was amazing. If only I would have known back there, I would have loved to have had a few lessons from him. I'm sure he would have helped my fighting 100 times better than it was. But he was a fabulous man. And that picture you're looking at, he was in Germany. He was our guest in Germany. He came and he did a seminar, and Al and I gave him a tour and showed him how beautiful Germany was, or Hamburg at least. And he was just really kind. There was two sides of Joe. Well, there was many faces of Joe Louis, you know, but the face that I knew was always that he liked to tease, and he was a gentleman, and he was soft-spoken if he wanted to be, extremely intelligent if he wanted to show that side of himself. He was more than just martial arts. There was another half of him that was actually very amazing. But, yes, I'm so sorry that he's gone because he was such a fabulous man.
Yeah, you know what? I would have to agree. Now, in addition to that, my short story with Master Joe Louis, rest in peace, with him was I was his assistant not once, not twice, but 3 times within a year and a half in his seminars. And the last time I was his assistant, he whispered to me, slow down. You're making me look bad. And I was like, yes, I got it. And, you know, he was such a straightforward guy. The only thing that I feel sad about is that I do not have more video footage of him and I interacting because I'm known as a wise guy. So when this guy comes up to me and says, you know, you're cocky, I'm like, are you kidding me? Is this the kettle closing the truffle back? I mean, you know. Nice.
I love that story.
And that's my point. You know, these are the people now. Okay, so Mike Stone, let's say a few words about Mr. Mike Stone.
Say that one more time.
Mike Stone, what would you say about Mike Stone?
Oh, yes, Mike Stone. Well, you know, also I used to watch him perform, and I used to be in awe and big eyes. You know, I was such a fan for a lot of these guys, but I didn't go up and be a groupie. And hey, I just, you know, I used to say, you know, great job, But did you ever hear his Golden Fist Awards? Mike Stone, he did the Golden Fist Award. Yes. Yeah, well, I was just really so honored to have won all 3 awards, which were kind of like the Academy Awards of martial arts. Best female kata, best fighting, best all around. So to have won
the triple threat, baby, the triple threat.
Yeah, it was just really, really an honor. And I remember when we had that, I think straight from that, along with Linda Lee, we flew straight somewhere to the south. I don't know if we went to Tennessee. I don't know where we went, Texas, but we did something there, a tournament. And then when we did that, we all got on an airplane and we flew to Berlin. And that was where we performed in the Deutschlandhalle with George Bruckner. And we took the whole crew over with Jeff Smith. And, the whole crew. We had a blast. And Linda Lee, she was also there. And Linda and I, we are friends today, although our friendship is not one we're in contact all the time, but that doesn't mean you're still not friends. If we picked up the phone today, it would be like we have not been apart. She was a fabulous lady and had so much fun. Well, I just had, the art for me was marvelous. And Howard Jackson, so sorry that he's passed, but he was like, he used to call me Mama Malia. He'd say, Mama, get over here, he said. And he would, that big old smile, I can just see that big old smile with those beautiful white teeth and the big hog. And I remember Bill Wallace, all he ever ate was hamburgers. I don't know if he still just eats hamburgers today, but he was the hamburger kid.
He still eats hamburgers with nothing on it. He squeezes it down. He lived one time. I'm going to do his interview next week. And it'll be slightly different because I'm presently in Florida and he lives 2 towns away from where I'm at. Him and I, he's the only person that I ever had an opportunity or that I was compelled to ask him for an autograph. In 1981, September 19th, and his nickname being Superfoot, I became Fast Feet when my mother gave me the nickname.
Yes.
And my relationship with him has been phenomenal throughout the years. So with Mike Stone, he came and did a seminar in my school. With Joe Lewis, him and I became his assistant in the seminar.
Do you know Jim Harrison?
I don't personally know Jim Harrison, but he's on the list because Jim Harrison,
he's an amazing man. He was another one that used to make me. He made me crazy when I go into tournaments because out of all the tournaments I've ever entered, he was the only one that he would stop me in the middle of my form and ask me, "What are you doing?" What am I doing? And I have to keep my composure. He said, "What is this all about?" Because here is Miss. They used to call me Miss Hollywood going into Texas with her pajamas on. I used to laugh. And so anytime something was wrong, it had to be Jim Harrison there. I did a kick. My boot came flying off my foot. Who was there? Jim Harrison as a judge. Another time, my bra strap broke. Who was there to stop me in the middle of my form and say, "Malia, will you come forward, please?" And he'd say, "Your bra strap is hanging. You can go fix it." I went through so many terrible things with these guys. Absolutely horrible. And I don't know. A lot of people don't realize that Chuck Norris hired me long ago to be the trainer to his wife at that time, Diane Norris, and he wanted me to train her. He handpicked me to train her. I had so many great one-on-one relationships with all of these people, every single one of them. And, when Al and I used to host our tournament in Colorado, they would all come, and we had a huge home. They had huge home. It's like a big hotel. We could put all these people in it. They would all come, and we'd take them snow skiing, and it was just wonderful. The art is not that way anymore, Jerry. You don't have that. You just don't have that contact with the fighters of today, I don't think.
Well, you know what? This is what's happening, right? There is a connection, but there's a separation in generation. So I'm one of the bridges to bridge these gaps from, with these generation gaps. Because I'm only just shy of 50. A lot of people think that I am in my 60s because I fought as a teenager against all these people. And I have always aspired to know the art like any other vocation. So I don't care if it's I don't care what style it is. It's all beautiful to me. And it all saved my life in a variety of ways. I was fortunate enough to learn the martial arts business side and have 1,000 students at 6 schools in New York City. I hired Grandmaster Alan Banks to do my public relations in the early 90s. And the only relations that I have with Chuck Norris is not once, not twice, not 3, but 4 occasions. I manufactured his clothing for his uniforms for the World Combat League, his Chonkudo, his kickball program, and everything. So I became a designer and creator of apparel because I love karate. I hate the uniforms. So I had that from 1997 to 2011, and I'm relaunching it this year.
My gosh, I have to see.
Yeah, well, it's something that you might have saw already, not realizing what it was, because I made it more mainstream. It's come out in music videos and TVs and movies and so on and so forth. And because of what I'm doing here this is my way to do a so-called Hall of Fame. My Hall of Fame is recognized awards. I'm recognizing people who have actually done something. So in addition to getting your own landing page, I'm going to have all the links to whatever you want, and I spoke to your assistant. I'm going to give you, it'll be dojine.com / your last name, and you have your own site page, and it's going to have links to whatever you want, all the events. I put the flyer for Cynthia Rothrock, who's also on the list of people that I'm going to interview. And on top of that,
sweet of you. Thank you.
Well, this is the only way I can say thank you to you. And because of that, in the matter of, I'm making a special, I call it rec suits. Rec is for real easy kicking. Suit is because it has pockets. So it'll be equivalent to a warm-up suit that you can wear in the street, but it's an official karate uniform that people are wearing them all over the world to this very day, because they never shrink, they never fade, you don't have to iron it. My first style was long fist kung fu, and I was wearing street clothes of the Chinese. So I said, you know what? I love karate. I hate the uniforms, and I invented actual uniform that you can wear in the street like a warm-up suit that literally is an official karate uniform. Mike Anderson and I had a wonderful relationship also. I want to make sure I interview him. And the majority of the people that he spoke to, I have in one capacity or another had a relationship with. However, they have a chance to have a conversation yet. And my intention is to make sure that I document audio, video, and otherwise, and help as many people as possible to expose the truth, because you, young lady, are a true living legend, an example of possibility, and my job is to make sure that people know that. And that's
thank you.
The bottom line truth. And again, I know you don't need any smoke blown up anywhere, but it's important to me that, for example, today is Tuesday. I know tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock, I know exactly what Joe Corley's going to be. He'll be teaching these ladies, okay? I know exactly what he's going to be tomorrow at 6 o'clock. You never seen Joe Corley out of shape. You know what I'm saying? Now, how many people I know, based on the way they look, they should be teaching sumo because for some reason they used to train. You're leading by example. Can you let us know a little bit more about what your plans are? I know you mentioned it, and I also heard Power Team or Dream Team, and it seems like you're starting to do something similar by recognizing these wonderful women who did some incredible things.
Yeah. And it was, humor, fun, laughter, beauty, great food. My roast for Cynthia, normally at all the roasts I ever attend, they always have part of the evening is contributed to martial art performers coming in and performing. But, no disrespect to martial arts, but I think we all know what martial arts is all about. And so for me, this is not an evening of martial arts. This is an evening for the lady who was a martial artist, is a martial artist, turned actress of entertainment. It's going to be an evening of entertainment in a charming, beautiful setting. And it's going to be a nice formal affair, and Cynthia truly has. I'm playing games. She has no clue what I'm doing to that poor lady, but she does have a great sense of humor, and I have asked about, is it okay if I do this? She's yes. But yes, I want to do this, and then my next one I want to do is Kathy Long. I love Kathy Long. Kathy Long is amazing. Look at Kathy Long, how she looks today, and still out there competing, and fabulous, gentle soul. She is, you put her gloves on and she roars like a lion. Take them off and she's like a lamb. She's so kind to everybody. And I want to expose a side of Kathy that a lot of people don't know about. And so we'll see how Cynthia goes. And then my next one I want to do is Kathy. So, yes.
And again, what I can do is at any point is let everyone know that I have contact with what's happening. Because the fact of the matter is, and I completely agree with you 1,000%, when I do these power talks, as I call them, people don't have any idea of what it is. This is a conversation about the truth, the past, the present, and the future. It has nothing to do with martial arts. It has everything to do with a martial artist and their life experiences. And that, to me, is more important. If I mention Bruce Lee, what would you say?
Bruce Lee, I'm just, I knew of Bruce Lee. I met him once. I knew his wife and children, but he was amazing. He was so ahead of his time. He was so for real. I mean, he was a natural. He put his heart, soul into what he taught, into what he learned. He analyzed the art. To him, he would eat, drink, sleep the art. Bruce Lee is never to be forgotten, and there will never be ever, 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 ever anyone to be like Bruce Lee. Never.
You know what Bruce Lee is to this very day? To 90% of the people that I do power talks with, he's the reason why they're involved in martial arts.
Yeah.
Okay? So Bruce Lee, to this very day, who he's still here, if you believe in the spirit being exactly who we are, he is still the number one motivator in the history of martial arts.
Yeah, exactly. You look at Elvis Presley, how long he's been gone, but in the entertainment field, I mean, you look at all the people that were truly the great. They never to be forgotten, ever, never, never, never. And when we speak of Bruce Lee, it's as if he's still alive, of which he is still alive. But,
exactly.
I look at death in a different way than most people do. To me, death is you just moved away and I don't see you anymore. Because you know how I have so many friends that live around the world. I don't see them, and a lot of times don't even talk to them. So death is kind of the same way. They're a memory to me, and sometimes we lose contact, and if we're lucky enough, we find each other again. But, Bruce Lee moved away, and that's how I look at death. They move away, and I'm not going to see him anymore.
Right. Well, okay, is there anyone in particular that you would want to give them some, for example, when you mentioned that you did some additional training with some other people, can you mention some of those people? Because I want to make sure that they know.
Well, I did. I have people I have trained, not only in the martial art world. A lot of people don't know I trained Michael McDonald from the Doobie Brothers.
Whoa, baby.
I didn't train him in the art, but every time it was time for him to go out on tour, they would hire me to get him skinny again. So Michael and I had an ongoing training session for several years. I taught Michael McDonald. And as a matter of fact, several years back, he was at a concert here. And I thought, okay, I have not seen Michael McDonald in years. I'm going to go to the concert. And I wrote a little note, and I said, Michael, I'm in the audience. I don't know if you remember me. Your trainer, Malia. I gave it to the security guard, and they said, no, we can't be bothering Michael with this. And I said, well, just give it to him. If it's a bother, he'll throw it away. Anyhow, I went and sat down in my seat, and then concert was about to start, and I'm sitting at the big center, and I hear somebody coming, Malia, 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 and I thought, oh gosh, I'm here. And so it was a security guard from Michael. He says, come with me. Michael's got your letter. He wants to see you. So I went with him, and he took me backstage, and sure enough, there was Michael, and he'd never forgotten me. And he said, no, you stay here. We laughed, and we had fun conversation. He told me, I used to feel like your dog because you were coming, and you put a leash on me and run me. And he said, I felt like a dog. And then I used to always laugh at Michael, and I'd say, Michael, sing. We need some music out here. He says, I can't sing, Malia. They just think I can. I can't sing. But, yes, I taught Michael, and I taught the sister from Heart. There was a lot in the entertainment business that I taught because of the fact that I taught the wife who was the head of the entertainment industry, the manager of Chicago and all of these people way back then. And so I was able to meet a lot of great people. I did a seminar with Chick Corea. He was in my seminar, and but kind of when I disappeared from the art for 23 years, I just kind of became a quiet person, and I went into another walk of life, and that was fitness. And I put the art on hold, and I went into fitness and learned everything and anything I could possibly learn about fitness. And then I put the two together, my fitness and my martial arts, and came out with my own style of Kung Chi and called Shi and Dai Kung Fu. And, it's pretty, it's hard to have a bunch of leaders in one room. You always have to have Indians and chiefs. And, I was never an Indian. I was always a chief. And I always, my mother taught me, the only person that loves you more in life is your mom or God, or you got to watch out for yourself, Malia. You have to be able to take care of yourself in life. And my mother was probably my role model in life. She was such a strong, fabulous, beautiful woman. And everything I am today, I can contribute a lot of it to my mother and to the art and to all the great people I've met along the way. And like I say, we were laughing about Gary Lee and Joy Turberville and all of them. I'm not mad at any of them. I'm just sorry that they thought they had to do that to me. It was so sad because if they had some complaint about me, this was the thing I had said to Gary Lee. I said, Gary Lee, at the roast, if these people said they heard me say that, why did they not come up to me at the end of the evening, take me aside, either ask me why I said that or try to beat the crap out of me or something? Why wait 6 months later and bring it up? And to this day, I will never understand it.
Well, let me just tell you. And in terms of that particular event, this is the first time I've heard of it. I personally have disappeared from the martial arts in the last few months for the purpose of helping, my very good friend, Mr. Joe Corley. Because I've been pretty blessed to be creative when it comes to modern day marketing, and he's one of the people that I mentor in that capacity, whether it's video or what have you. But that's what you need in order to bring back the PK. You need to have professionals, and I'm happy to say that I'm one of those guys when it comes to the internet. But in terms of people in general, well, when it's all said and done, people sometimes are just weird. They don't even mean that. It sounds sad, but the fact of the matter is that you are a victim or have been, the same way you were in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and whatever, of what we consider in the ghettos of the Bronx player haters. These people are just player haters, and you, young lady, are still a player. And this is the whole thing, that people get intimidated by a beautiful, intelligent, strong woman. It doesn't matter if it was the 1960s. You still intimidate these people so they can't walk up to you and tell you anything. Are you kidding me?
Yes. Well, I told you earlier, I know who I am. I think I might be the only woman I know of that I weigh the same weight I do today as I did when I was 16.
Oh, listen to that. Listen to what you just said there. That is the truth. And I got to give credit to somebody in your family. By the way, where were you born and raised? Because I mean, you traveled throughout the world, and give us a little information.
I was born in San Juan Bautista, California. My mother, ancestors come from France, Basque French. My father was Castilian Spanish.
Ooh, baby. That's conquistador blood right there. So you were conqueror, too.
And my high cheekbones and I am what I want to be. I've made myself to what I want to be with the help of God. And I can't do it alone.
Amen to that. Amen to that. I believe that let me just mention 2 more people, if you don't mind, because I really respect your feedback on these people, and they're both going to have to be students. If I say Eric Lee.
Eric Lee? Oh, my gosh, that little rascal. I love him to death. Eric Lee and I used to train together back in the day in Cherryland Hall, and I can remember Eric Lee. Al would get so frustrated because Eric Lee was always late to class, and when I first started, I didn't know why Eric Lee was always late to class, but Eric Lee had a softness for blondes. He'd always be out in some parked car making out. I recently was interviewed for a documentary about Eric Lee. I don't even know if they took that out, but they asked me, tell me things about Eric Lee nobody would know. And I said, well, you want the truth? You want juicy? What do you want? Because I know so much about Eric Lee. But Eric Lee is an absolute fabulous gentleman. I've never heard him say anything bad about anybody. I mean, he's always positive. He's always energetic. He's always willing and ready to help anybody. And he's a go-getter. He knows how to promote himself. He's just really a cool guy. And I don't know if you've seen him perform recently, but he still can do his splits. He looks fabulous working his weapons and doing the form. He's also another real deal. He practices what he preaches. Although one time I saw Eric and I tapped him on his tummy. I said, Eric, what is this? You're looking like Buddha. He said, what are you talking? I said, get back to the training room and get rid of this stomach. And so we had an ongoing thing about him keeping his flat stomach. But Eric Lee is a fabulous person. I love him. I have nothing bad to say about Eric. Nothing.
Well, I wouldn't expect that, but I had an opportunity to see him perform only one time live, and that was, I believe, in 1977 at the Oriental Wall of Self-Defense in Madison Square Garden that Grandmaster Aaron Banks was promoting. So that's when I had a chance. Because otherwise, I'm just reading magazines. I'm a young kid, and I'm reading magazines. And obviously, Karen Turner, which was your student also, that probably came directly after you. But the other, and I'm sorry to say, the other hot mama.
Yes, Karen, she was an excellent student. Yeah, she was a go-getter, nothing lazy about her. She ran a business. She found time to train. She traveled. Eventually, she became involved with Don and Judy Quine somewhere in the
PK Promotions.
Something, I can't remember what it was now, but she began working together with them on fights in Las Vegas.
The PKA.
Yes, that's it. But Karen and I, we all go different ways. Me, I'm like a gypsy. That's what my kids have always said, Mom. We've learned to adapt to anything in life because of the way you brought us up. And I said, that's a good thing, isn't it? They said, yes, it is. And so I've always been one who's an adventurer. I love travel. I love new things. I love trying new things. I'm grateful each day my eyes open up and I have another day to make it worth my spend.
And we had another accident because she was on and then she's cut off. So what's happening by accident, I believe that she's pressing a number or a button unintentionally. Again, guys, I apologize, but this is something that happens, technical difficulties. She's left the building again at 3:08. But, my God, what a positive, energized, incredible lady. I'm not sure if she's going to actually get a chance to get back on, but she's pressing the button unintentionally, I would assume. I'm still on here, and she's not. But, wow. Those of you who are listening, you're listening to Jerry Fast Responsiveness, Grandmaster Jerry Fast Responsiveness with Grandmaster Malia, Bernal, formerly known as the Cascos, sharing information about people that she had some incredible stories about, including students like Eric B. and classmates. And there she goes. I hear her. She came back on. Now, maybe you didn't study ninjutsu, but you keep disappearing and coming back, baby.
I know.
I'm glad you're back.
For real.
I stood waiting for you, but you are worth it. You are worth it. I'm so excited. When you hear this thing, please apologize. I apologize ahead of time because once you was off, all I was doing was ranting and raving and talking about you. I know you shouldn't talk about people.
Well, I can't hang up without formally saying thank you and goodbye, and I've enjoyed this. I hope someday to meet you in person. Anytime you need any help with anything, I'd be more than happy to assist.
Well, I am honored. The last thing I just would like to ask is anyone that you want to make sure you give a shout out, because I was going to ask you, the next person I was going to ask you about was Karen Shepard. But if you don't have time,
Well, Karen Shepard is fabulous. I love her. She worked hard. She followed us all around the country to learn. She even traveled to Germany to learn. She was an easy student. She was hungry. She wanted to be the best. And when you want to be the best, you work hard. She is my friend. I recently saw her in Los Angeles when we roasted Al. She was there, and it was fabulous to be able to see her again. Karen Turner was also going to come to the event, but at the last moment something happened and she couldn't come. But, you know, they were my students from the past. I have a shout out to all my students. I love each and every student, and it's so nice that I'm in contact with most of them, and that I still get to go to Germany and see all of my students there. And, gosh, what can I say? Life is good, God is good, people are good.
Well, only thing I would request is that any way possible, because my intention is to make sure that those young ladies get exposed because, hey, guys, listen up. 3, and I apologize if I'm offending you, but I got to say it, 3 of the hottest women in the history of martial arts that could really do the real deal in the ring were from the same school, and the one that I'm speaking to, leading by example, is right here, Malia herself. I mean, my gosh, so the last thing I would just like to say is, in the famous words of some crazy Puerto Rican in the Bronx, Grandmaster, when I say A-B, I want you to say, see ya, A-B.
Okay.
When I say A-B, thank you very much. God bless you. I really appreciate you, and I do pray someday that I get a chance to meet you in person because you are a living legend, and we appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. See ya. Have a great evening. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Hello to everybody I know that you interview, okay?
Thank you very much. Oh, my God. And again, I will officially end it now, but let me just say this. This is probably one of my top 3 favorite ones, and I'll tell you why. You're the first lady that I have ever interviewed officially.
Oh, I'm honored.
But it makes sense. The next person that I have scheduled is Miss Linda Denny, my very good friend.
Oh, Linda, she's neat. She's tough, rough, and mean, but she's gentle. She's a lady.
Listen, she plays basketball that she beat me, and she cost me the #1 spot in the nation back in 1988 because I had blisters in my feet from playing basketball with her the night before. And I'm happy to see, from what I understand, I'm not the only person she beat in basketball.
Then don't feel bad. Don't feel bad.
No,
okay.
I don't feel bad. But I want to have, I'm going to send you all the information so you take a look at it. And I believe you'll be very happy because you have a wonderful information on the internet. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you. Good evening to you. Bye-bye.